Right. And you alluded to the next iteration of our industry, and I think, and probably what you're talking about is that's where it's going, is into one side is the analytics side of it, where
Right.
where we're going on at Partners, but there's also the innovation side of the folks in our industry. I think are some of the brightest and most intelligent folks because they've had to be, because this industry demands it, and they're looking to create all these different solutions to those problems. Right. That $2 million per dose. Yeah, it'll happen for a while, but somebody will figure out a way to combat that and get at it, and then we'll kind of see that evolve and see it change. And I think that's what's pretty cool to see. And I'm sure you've seen that over your lifespan in the industry. I mean, you must have seen a lot of different examples of that kind of happening as we go.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. Well, I mean, it's a common thing now, but when I a few years back, probably 10, 15 years ago. What I used to sell, as a lot of the company I worked for at the time sold a lot of organ transplant carve out. And I just thought this was like the coolest thing since sliced bread, because it carved out that whole transplant risk. So I thought it was just the coolest thing since sliced bread. And I think you're going to start seeing that with other special risks like gene therapies. And in fact, there are already companies that are doing this kind of stuff, carving out that risk, selling it as a separate product, which, like I said, to me, this is where our industry is going, specialty drugs. We're already seeing that as well. So as we continue to evolve as an industry, I just hope that everyone can kind of keep up with what's happening, and that because it's so price sensitive, I just have a feeling if we don't get a handle on it soon, we're going to find ourselves in this kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, armageddon, where, I mean, I saw it happen like 20 some years ago, where the industry just blew up because PPOs were being too overvalued, and it ended up just blowing up the industry, and it almost like you had to start from scratch. Yeah. And I'm afraid that may be where our industry is going again, unless we kind of get a handle on things, because you just can't continue to keep going lower and lower and lower on pricing. It's going to eventually catch up to us. Reinsurers are not going to tolerate it. So
right, and then I think one of the issues that we have is there are a lot of these great products that are out there that are providing solutions, but there's so many of them. There's so many that are doing very similar things. There's so many that are doing different things, and so the real task is, how do we wrap our hands around all of it?
Yep.
Get the right ones to the table and bring them in and get them to all coordinate and work together, because one of them thumping their chest saying they're the best, and the other one's doing half of what they're doing, but they can provide another solution. Can you get them to work together, and can you find the right broker to be able to piece that stuff together? And so I think that's a big challenge for the brokers these days, is to piece all that stuff together to be the right fit for their clients.
Yep. If I were king for a day, Bill, I think that'd be exactly, I would, and I think we're working toward that, but just wanting to be a clearinghouse for all of that, so we can just say, okay, you're having this problem, through the data analytics that we're presenting now, through our BI package, we can say, here are the problems that we see, here are the solutions we can hopefully provide to you, and like you said, getting the right broker who's willing to buy into that and being able to sell the employer on that. In this day and age, we already know benefits is usually the biggest line item or second biggest line item on a balance sheet. Folks really need to pay attention to this, because, like I said, it's not getting any better anytime soon.